Alrighty, part 1. So this will be a multi-part video. Part 1 will be doing coilovers. Part 2, front upper control arms. Part 3, tension rods. Part 4, tow rods. Part 5, tension rods. So, step 1, jack stance, jack up car. Okay, so with the car up in the air, we are going to start with the coilovers. You will have to pull off this bolt right here, 10mm socket. Pull off this cap if your 300ZX still has it. You pull this cap off. Underneath is a nut. It should be a 17. After that, you have to undo these two nuts. Depending if your car's been messed with or not, they're either going to be 13s or 14s. This one hasn't been messed with, so they are 13s. After that, you have the coil, your shock loose, and that's pretty much it. Alright, and coilover install is reverse. You guide the bottom in first, then the top. Once you have it in place, slide it onto the stud. Make sure you have your spacers on correctly. Get the nut on. After that, using the same jack you held the control arm with, jack it up to guide the top in place. Once the top head is in place, put those nuts on, tighten those down, then tighten this guy down. After that, you put the wheel on and you're done. Simple as 1, 2, 3. Now for the rear, obviously, get the car up on jack stands. Kind of got ahead of myself. So you need to disassemble these panels along the back to access the two nuts that hold in the strut on the top. You undo this from the center. There's two plastic screws you undo there. Two 10mm nuts you pull off there. After that, there is another 10mm nut that is hidden under that, or another two, that goes here, 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 and here. So those would be essentially 1, 2, 3. You undo those to pull that out. Next, this is a 4-seater, so it'll be different from a coupe. Next, I will undo these guys here. The screw that holds this in place. After that, and this 10 obviously, that'll give me enough to move it out of the way to access the bolts, or the nuts. Then obviously you could further disassemble it from here and further stuff, but I just don't want to go into that. So get it loose enough to access it. You could see the two nuts that hold in the top of the strap. Those are 13mm nuts, so 13mm deep socket, and your choice of a 1/4 inch or 3/8 ratchet, and that'll do the job. After that, you undo those, and then we move down to the bottom. So now that we got these up here loose, but not all the way down, the next step is undoing this bolt. 17mm ratchet, 17mm wrench to loosen it up. Pull out the bolt, you slide this back. Once you have this loose, then you can go ahead and undo the top two nuts. The shock will drop straight down. It'll drop down. You're going to angle it towards the inside of the car. After that, pull the top out and it slides out this way. From there, we go ahead and put in the new coilover. So once it's in, tighten down the top bolts and then the bottom bolt. In this case, I had to get a bigger bolt because this is a lot thicker than what I pulled off, being, you know, that. And that's it for the coilovers.